Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist JD Rudd, your video blog on this Sunday, talking about the rain that we had this morning, the rain coming our way tonight, and the big heat coming our way this week as well. Some areas have seen a pretty good amount of rain in the last 12 to 18 hours, others not seeing much at all. What you're watching now on the screen and behind me is the loop of the satellite and radar over the last 12 hours. This video being done at 3:45 in the afternoon on Sunday, so we have from 3:45 in the morning till 3:45 in the afternoon. Let's take a closer look at this and just kind of watch what happened as he went through those overnight to early morning hours. I'm going to back this up a little bit because a couple interesting things took place for us early this morning. Let's clear this map up a little bit. Here we are at 7 o'clock this morning. We had some very heavy rain around the Butler area and just west of Topeka as well. What I thought was interesting, watch this, as the rain moved into Kansas City. How many times have we seen this? A complete hole right over most of the inside heart of Metro Kansas City and over parts of Johnson County, Kansas. Everybody was getting rain around us but the Metro. Hang on, we weren't done yet though. Just as that hole rode its way over the city, a secondary area of rain developed just northeast of Topeka, and then that plowed through Metro KC just after about 1:15 or so, giving some heavy rainfall to some parts of the Metro, but again, not all. Now, I saw some rain reports of around about 2/3 or so of an inch, all the way down to about 1/10 of an inch. Some areas, I think, had just over an inch of rainfall, so again, very hit and miss across the area. This is the satellite radar picture now, and let me give you the big scope of this. Notice there's nothing new back to our west in Kansas, nor to our northwest across parts of Nebraska. It could be an active night tonight again in the Dakotas, as they are expecting more rain. What we have to watch for is a developing system overnight tonight in sections of northern Missouri. More on that in a second. Let's cover the bases here on the rainfall that we saw in the last 12 hours or so. This is the radar estimated rainfall, and again, your backyard rain gauge may vary. The yellow colors you see on here, primarily in our southern counties, that's around 1 to 2 inches of rain. In that, there's a couple little dots of orange. That would indicate just over about 2 inches of rainfall. Near Metro KC, the amounts weren't the greatest. Let this load up a second here. You can kind of see some areas spotty green in there, about a 1/2 inch to around 1 inch. Some areas of yellow, 1 to 2 inches, again, just northwest of Metro KC. So again, a little bit of rain, but overall the big heavy rain stayed outside of Metro Kansas City. I showed a graphic a couple of days ago, the odds of getting a 1/2 inch or more between, I think it was Friday and Monday morning. I said it'd be south of I-70 into the southwest. It's pretty much where it's shown up. A little exception there between Atchison and Kansas City. So where do we go from here? Let's look ahead. Next 24 hours, this is what you should keep in mind. Rain and thunderstorms are looking likely overnight tonight into tomorrow, but again, not for everybody. The best area is going to be in northern to central Missouri and then portions of eastern Missouri. Let me also say this too, and I said this a couple of times yesterday, the computer forecast models are terrible. They have not handled this very well at all. If you recall, yesterday I had to hand draw in what I thought was going to happen today because the models didn't pick up on it. 2 of the models said we didn't get a single drop of rain today, and they were obviously very wrong. And once the rain ends tomorrow in the morning to early afternoon, the heat and the humidity look to come back. Here's the overall timeline of what I think is going to happen. Thunderstorms developing in central Missouri overnight tonight. Those storms will move to the north and northeast by tomorrow morning. Then by Monday afternoon, the sun comes back. So does the heat and the humidity. Let me share with you a couple different things before I give you my actual thoughts. First off, here is the RPM, or we call it the PowerCast computer forecast model. This is what it says for tonight into Monday morning. Notice this. Very interesting here. It puts the rain and thunderstorms from the St. Louis area up toward about Kirksville and Chillicothe. It doesn't bring anything into the immediate KC metro area, and it keeps it all there. One piece of forecast guidance from the RPM or PowerCast says over 5.5 inches of rain will fall in the Chillicothe area and to the east. I think that's a little much. Then it dives that system down tomorrow morning south of I-70 and fades it out before it gets to about the heart of central Missouri. Now, to stick with this RPM computer forecast model for just a second, something else that it does interesting, most of the afternoon Monday is dry. A weak cold front, though, may work its way out of Nebraska trying to put rain and thunderstorms in our area for Tuesday. This forecast model takes them up and over the area, dumping them down into eastern sections of Missouri. There was a little indication earlier. Let's see if it picks up on it again. No, it doesn't now. There was an indication earlier that at noon on Tuesday, something would develop. You kind of see it there along that cloud area between Salina, Wichita, back towards St. Joseph. It said that thunderstorms develop along that Tuesday afternoon and roll through Metro KC. I'm not too optimistic about that right now. Again, that's the RPM forecast model. I want to focus more on the short term, the next 24 hours or so. I'm going to take you here and show you how things look on a different piece of computer forecast model information. This is the one model that got things right yesterday. Doesn't mean it's right today. You got to keep that in mind. Just because one forecast model gets it right doesn't mean it's suddenly got the hot hand. But this is the NAM forecast model. Let's run this through here and show you how it plays things out overnight tonight and into Monday morning. Here again, it puts the heaviest rainfall, the thunderstorm activity into sections of northern Missouri. Let's go back here. We kind of got lost in the shuffle there. There it is. So you've got the activity going on there in northern sections of Missouri at 7 o'clock tomorrow. There's 10 o'clock tomorrow. That's at 1 o'clock tomorrow and 4 o'clock there on Monday. So the same idea of putting something into northern Missouri, diving down a little more to the east-southeast and fizzling it out by the end of the day on Monday. To keep things going, here's what it does for Tuesday. Nothing at all like what the RPM forecast model wanted. Again, this is the the NAM forecast model. Let me show you a different version of the NAM. This is the higher resolution 4-kilometer version of the NAM. Similar idea to its big brother, the 12K, but notice where it puts the storm system tonight. That's 3 o'clock in the morning. There is 7 o'clock in the morning. That's 10 o'clock on Monday, and there is noon Monday. So let's do some compare and contrast. Notice how it puts the heaviest stuff 3 a.m. right along I-80 into the south, between I-80 and the Missouri and Iowa line. Conversely, let's go back over and take a look at the 12K NAM. Notice the placement there at 3 o'clock in the morning. Look at the difference. About 100 and some miles farther north-south, depending upon which model you look at. So there's some split guidance going on there over where the rain and thunderstorms may actually wind up tonight. The key thing is to find where the warm front is going to be. I think along and north of the warm front, that's the most likely area to see rain and thunderstorms tonight. Now, once that warm front goes through on Monday, the heat is really going to come back. I can show that to you quickly here with the GFS forecast model. This is just one of several pieces of information that I'm looking at for temperatures. The key for Monday, though, do we have leftover clouds, rain, and perhaps even an outflow from any thunderstorms that develop off to our north and northeast, relatively speaking of Kansas City? If the clouds and the outflow push to the southwest, moving more into the metro, it's going to keep a lid on the temperature. Right now, the GFS says that Kansas City is only at 93, but Topeka's at 99, and most of central Kansas is cooking at 104 or greater. Those are air temperatures, folks, not the heat index. 107 is what the GFS says for Salina and Concordia, Kansas tomorrow. 108 in other areas. And just in case you're curious, it only gets hotter as we go through the week. There's Tuesday. There's Wednesday. Look at that heat. There's Thursday. Bottom line, it's going to be hot. But again, that's just one forecast model. Want to focus more on that rain and thunderstorm activity, so I want to take you back and show you my interpretation. So just like yesterday, I've hand-drawn what I think is going to happen here with the rain and thunderstorms overnight tonight based off the various forecast models. As I mentioned, I think the storms are going to develop along and just north of that warm front. I believe at midnight tonight, the warm front's going to be right across metro Kansas City. So I think any kind of rain and thunderstorms would develop along and north of that front. Now, leaning a little bit more to some of the forecast model guidance, the heavier rain might be between Maryville, Bethany, Chillicothe, then down to Richmond and St. Joseph. That's how I have it painted right now. That rain would move off to the north and northeast into early Monday morning, but I wouldn't be surprised if something tries to slide down between Richmond, Warrensburg, and Sedalia tomorrow morning. I've drawn that in between about 7 a.m. and noon, allowing for that chance of something to dip down to our eastern counties, but I think by then, metro Kansas City becomes in the clear. The sun comes back out in the afternoon, the wind's out of the south, the front has gone through, the temperatures should heat up. However, like I mentioned, if the clouds and the rain develop a little farther south and those clouds hang around over Kansas City and there's any kind of outflow around, you can easily cut the temperature down by about 3 to even 7 degrees. So we may only wind up in the lower 90s, perhaps even in the upper 80s. The takeaway here, there's going to be a huge, and I'm talking huge, temperature spread across the viewing area. So from Topeka to Lawrence to Garnett, these areas here most likely on Monday are going to be cooking, at least middle 90s, if not the upper 90s. Whereas portions of northern Missouri, Maryville, Bethany, Chillicothe, you may luck out and only be in the 80s throughout most of the day on Monday. Let me actually look and see if I have something from the computer forecast guidance here on what the high temperatures may be for tomorrow. I know I've got something in here somewhere. Is this? Let's just see what this says. This is raw computer output. And yeah, that's almost exactly what I was thinking. So there you go. Northeastern Missouri in the upper 80s, and then southwestern parts of our viewing area, mid-90s. It may actually wind up being warmer than that. That's just one piece of computer forecast model guidance. The temperatures continue to get warmer as the week goes on. There you see, above average all week. I'm going to put us at around 95, give or take a degree or two, all week long. That does not include the heat index, which will be well over 100 degrees. So it's another week of hydrate, 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 and find a way to stay cool. Detailed numbers here in the 7-day forecast will show you we'll keep that heat going through at least the weekend. And then I think by the end of the week, a cold front gets close to the area. I mentioned that in yesterday's video blog too. So I'll put small chances for rain in there and keep the temperatures in the lower 90s based off the cloud cover. To back that up a little bit, let me share this with you and make sure it's in the frame all the way. This is the setup as per the Weather Prediction Center throughout the week. So there's what it says that we see on Wednesday on the left image, Thursday, then you've got Friday sneaking in, and then Saturday down toward the bottom here. Let me see if I can get this to show up for you a little better. So there that is. So that's why I say, see that stationary front hanging around on there? That's why I'm saying I'm going to put the clouds in for us and that small chance of rain with the front just kind of hanging around in the area as we go from Thursday, Friday into Saturday, more or less. So low 90s for highs will go. Unless that front goes farther north, then we'll boost the temperature and drop the rain chance. But I think in the immediate future, the best thing to know is showers and thunderstorms overnight. Not expecting a big severe weather event, but some very heavy rain. A lot of thunder and lightning are possible. Perhaps some gusty wind as well, winds as well, with the most likely area being northern sections of Missouri to northeastern Missouri. We'll keep giving you updates, not just on air, but on our social media pages too. And of course, the morning newscast begins tomorrow at 4:30 a.m. Thank you for watching the video blog.